Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into one of history's most gripping tales of absolute power and the absolute shocking suspense of losing it all. We're going to explore the ancient history of Prophet Suleman, also known as Solomon. His legendary reign wasn't just some marvel of human achievement, it was an unprecedented, mind-bending convergence of the natural and supernatural worlds.
I want you to just imagine this for a second. You possess the greatest kingdom in history. We're talking an empire where literally even the wind bows to your command. And then it's just stripped away by a simple trick. What would you do? How would you even survive? Well, that central, thrilling mystery is exactly what we are going to unpack today.
All right, let's get right into it. Section 1, an empire unlike any other, the peak of power.
To really set the stage here, you've got to picture the jaw-dropping scale of Prophet Suleman's ancient empire. His royal court was a total technological and sensory overload. His throne wasn't just some static chair. When the king stepped onto the first stair, the entire throne would actually begin to rotate like a massive, mysterious millstone. Picture this: mechanical golden peacocks spreading their wings, golden lions shifting their weight, moving their tails, and a massive canopy of countless birds flying overhead, completely blocking the sun to give him shade. Eagles would literally swoop down to place the crown on his head, while doves sprinkled the air with musk and amber. I mean, it was an atmosphere designed by jinn to strike absolute awe and, frankly, terror into the hearts of anyone who walked in.
But here's where things get really fascinating. It's the ultimate paradox of his reign. On one hand, you have this king whose kitchens were cooking the meat of 20 camels at a time, just to feed his sprawling armies of men, demons, and birds. But despite all of this unimaginable wealth, he refused to take a single coin from the royal treasury for himself. No, instead, the ruler of the known world sat down and wove baskets out of date palm leaves with his own two hands, selling them in the market just to buy his daily meals. It's a stunning historical contrast, isn't it? Absolute worldly power right next to absolute personal humility.
Which brings us to Section 2, the imposter on the throne, the stolen kingdom.
You know, every towering empire has a vulnerability, a weak point, and this leads us to the terrifying, inciting incident that brought the king to his knees. You see, the core of Suleman's earthly authority was bound to a singular ring. Whenever he needed to step away, he trusted this ring to his most loyal maid, Amina. But a lord of the demons who had been lurking in the dark corners of the palace for years finally saw his chance. Using dark magic, he actually shape-shifted to look, sound, and dress exactly like the king. He walked right up to Amina and smoothly asked for the ring. Unsuspecting, she just handed it over. In a flash of thunder, the imposter placed the ring on his finger, and instantly, the demons, humans, and birds bowed to him. Just like that, the true king was locked out of his own life.
So this kicks off a grueling 40-day exile. Now, why 40 days? Well, historical records suggest that entirely unbeknownst to the king, one of his wives had secretly been worshipping an idol of her father in his home for exactly 40 days. So the punishment perfectly mirrored the crime. For 40 days, the man who used to literally fly on the wind was forced to walk barefoot on scorching sand. He ended up at a riverbank, working as a lowly laborer helping fishermen with their nets, earning just 2 fish a day to survive. Meanwhile, the imposter was ruling ruthlessly, making decisions completely against divine law. But as that 40th day approached, the imposter started to panic, realizing the people were getting suspicious. So in a desperate move to permanently destroy the true king's chances of ever coming back, the demon hurled the ring deep into the roaring sea.
Let's look at Section 3, the ring and the return, the miraculous restoration.
Let's see how the ticking clock of this exile runs out. Because destiny writes itself in the most unpredictable way possible. The demon thought throwing the ring in the ocean was the perfect crime, but the God who can take away an empire can easily retrieve a ring from the ocean floor. One evening, sitting quietly on a rock, the exiled king goes to cut open one of the 2 fish he earned that day. Suddenly, his finger strikes something cold and hard. He pulls it out, and to his absolute shock, it's the ring. The moment he slips it back onto his finger, a tremor runs through the universe. The wind shifts, thousands of birds immediately dive from the sky to shade him, and the jinn realize, uh-oh, the true king has returned. The fleeing imposter is swiftly captured and chained in the ocean depths, a punishment that remains to this day.
Now, after his return, the king and his amazingly wise minister, Asif bin Barkia, discussed this fascinating paradox regarding the hoopoe bird. This specific bird was highly valued by the king because it possessed the miraculous ability to see water hidden deep beneath layers of the earth, kind of like X-ray vision. Yet, strangely, this same bird would frequently fly right into a thin, totally visible hunter's net hidden under just a tiny bit of dirt. Asif bin Barkia pointed out the crucial truth here. When divine destiny arrives, even the sharpest eyes go blind. It perfectly explained how a king so incredibly powerful could lose his empire so easily. When fate dictates an event, human vigilance is just powerless.
Next up is Section 4, the sun that turned back. The miracle of the sun.
Okay, let's look at another fascinating historical anomaly involving some majestic beasts and a literal race against time. The king inherited 1,000 elite, majestic horses from his father, Prophet David. These were not ordinary animals. They were incredibly beautiful, incredibly fast, and bred specifically for righteous campaigns. They even had this distinct, elegant posture where they'd stand on 3 legs with the hoof of the 4th leg barely touching the ground, just resting with pure grace.
So, one afternoon, the king was reviewing these magnificent horses. The dust kicked up by their hooves shimmered like gold in the afternoon light. And he was so utterly captivated by the beauty of these creatures that he completely lost track of time. Suddenly, his heart sinks. The sun had slipped behind the mountains, and he realized he had missed his afternoon prayer, the Asr prayer.
Now, it is absolutely vital here to correct a major historical myth. Some distorted traditions actually claim that in a fit of rage over missing his prayer, the king slaughtered all the horses. No way! A prophet would never unjustly harm innocent animals. The real truth is vastly more awe-inspiring. Realizing his mistake, he prayed to God for the sun to be brought back. And miraculously, the sun actually reversed its course, rising back above the horizon so he could perform his prayer on time. And afterward, rather than harming the horses, he lovingly washed them, massaging their manes and legs as a sign of affection and deep care.
And that leads us to our climactic final act. Section 5, Hiding from the Angel, the Inescapable Fate.
Here is where the king learns the ultimate chilling lesson about the illusion of control. One quiet night, standing on his balcony looking at the stars, the king felt this huge surge of passion to raise a massive, righteous army. He proudly declared that he would visit his 70 wives that night so that each would bear a strong warrior. But in his excitement, he forgot a tiny but vital phrase, Insha'Allah, if God wills. As a subtle, divine correction for relying on his own plans rather than God's will, out of the 70 wives, only one became pregnant, and the child she bore was tragically deformed, only half formed. But despite this, the king loved this child fiercely and kept him right by his side on the throne. Now imagine the chilling tension in the royal court just a short time later. The king is holding court when he notices a man in the room. It's the angel of death who had arrived in human form. But the angel isn't speaking. He's just locking a deep, inexplicable, piercing stare right onto the vulnerable, half-formed infant on the throne. The king's heart is pounding. He asks the angel why he's staring, but the angel remains completely silent, his terrifying gaze fixed entirely on the child.
Faced with the ultimate terror of losing his beloved son, the king's survival instincts kick into overdrive. He turns to his sprawling court of powerful demons and jinn and asks a desperate question. Where do we hide this child so the angel of death cannot reach him? How do we outsmart fate itself?
Step by step, the demons propose escalating hiding spots. One demon offers to hide the baby at the edge of the east, beneath the spring of the sun. The king rejects this. The angel can easily reach the east. Another suggests the dark depths of the seventh earth. Again, rejected. Death reaches underground too. Finally, a demon suggests hiding the child high up in the sky, nestled deep within the thickest clouds. The king, absolutely desperate for a solution, accepts this plan. He entrusts his beloved child to the winds, commanding them to sweep the baby up into the clouds for safety.
But here is the devastating irony. The angel of death wasn't staring at the child in the court of malice. He was staring out of utter confusion. You see, the angel had just received a divine order to take the soul of this specific child high up in the clouds. Seeing the baby sitting safely on the throne on the ground, the angel was wondering, how on earth is this child going to get all the way up into the clouds so I can fulfill my order? It was the king's own intricate escape plan that delivered the child perfectly to his appointed place of death. The sheer suspense of it all just drops into heartbreaking reality. A flash of lightning illuminates the sky.
thunder cracks, and a lifeless little body falls directly from the clouds, landing right back onto the royal throne. The king's elaborate, supernatural scheme had unknowingly acted as the very vehicle for destiny.
Stripped of absolutely all his worldly illusions, the great king falls into prostration. Tears stream down his face as he realizes the profound truth. No army of demons, no control over the wind, and no magical rings can outmaneuver a simple decree of fate. Humbled entirely, he asks for forgiveness for relying on his demons instead of his creator, and prays for a unique kingdom, finally acknowledging that all true power rests in hands far greater than his own.
Which brings us to the core lesson of this entire explainer. We've just seen a man who commanded forces we can barely even comprehend, yet he was entirely powerless against the subtle turning of fate. So, I leave you with this final provocative thought. If the ruler of the wind, beasts, and demons could not outwit destiny, how much of your own life is truly in your hands? Thanks for joining me on this